Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing a wait, no, not card of the day. I'm doing a weekend pick-a pile here. And I'm just gonna have to ignore the hammering in the background. There's some domicile repairs happening, as it is finally a nice and warm and sunny-ish day here, instead of being like 80 and then snowing. Okay, move this back up just a little bit. There we go. Alright. So, what I've got for piles for this week, let me try to get a middle adjustment here. So I have this very nice shell with the white and the pink and the spikes and the stabbiness. Had that for like 30 years. I always want to make like a ring out of it so I can go like the 3D print one that looks the same so I can wear it. Okay, and then I have a Hatchling Dragon here. Coming out of the shell, man. So I have a hidden dragon and then a crouching tiger. So this little guy here, his t-shirt always riding up, this soggy bottom here. It's like full of beans. Tiger. And then I have this lovely teacup and saucer here. Let's try to, there we go. Focus. And a yo-yo. I was playing with that earlier. It's always exciting when I can catch it and not have it bounce off my hand. Okay, so for the decks that I'm using, oh, it looks even the thing, but it looks offset. Like the camera looks tilted from where I'm at. Oh yeah, the decks. So I've got the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. I have the Work Your Light Oracle deck. Syrian Starseed Tarot. Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I'm gonna hold that there, Dreams of Gaia. The Aquarian Tarot. The Morgan Greer. And the Mini Rider-Waite. Oh, it's toasty. Okay. Since this is kind of sticking out here, I'm going to start with the Delightful Yo-Yo here. Yo, what's up? Dizzy it? Duncan Imperial in cherry clear red. It's so pretty. Alright. Oh, look at that. It's like... There we go. Portal. Let's see what we got for cards here. These stacks don't all have the same amount of cards or all the same decks in them. The Sun. 53. So the Sun came out in the why can't I talk? The card of the day for the 14th. So 5 and a 3. So 5 is like the Hierophant. 3 is like the 3 of Wands, but also the Empress. And the 8 total is like Strength, which is Leo, which is also the Sun. Okay, so I sense a little bit of grounding energy with the Taurian, Venusian energy of those possible other cards, but I also see this idea of enlightenment, cosmic downloads, confidence and strength in oneself, being able to connect with your inner light. Perception. So this card is like the night to the sun's day. The Dreams of Gaia Tarot is a little bit different. So here we have 21, which would normally be the world. But here it's like the Emperor Empress level of swords for me. And perception is that it's like that ultimate ability to see light and dark. Here it's like gazing back at you from the darkness. Like these cards are looking at each other, and we have that duality system. Now we have 21, which in the regular numbers breaks down to a 3. So we have a 3 here, right? And then I also see it as like, I also see it as being a 5, because I see it like 2, 2, 1, even though that's not how it is, but it's because it's one line, right? There's 5 lines there crisscrossing, right? So I do see it as being the night equivalent of this sun card here. So it's an enhanced perspective and ability to gain information by having your masculine and feminine energies in balance, your light and dark, your cold and hot. It's the union of opposites in that way. I think this might end up being a sort of a triptych door action here. Now the Sage, 7 inverted. So this card is kind of like the Hermit in this deck, in place of what would normally be the Chariot. And here it's like it's a little bit magician-y too, and in that way I do associate the Magician with the wheel, especially in my music deck, which I'm not using right now. So it's got that, I see a 5 and then 2, right? So it's like the Hierophant and the High Priestess combined, with slightly more masculine casting. But we do have an owl here, which is often representing the feminine, and the wolf here, which is usually fairly masculine. So we do have this union going here, and this illumination. And inverted here, though, it's like, it's almost like we're missing something, or we're about to go in deep. It's like what happens when these two aspects clash is yet to be determined. It's not, well, they're not clashing. It's like recombinant. You know when they have those like cartoons where they like bounce across and then they smash together, or in those like weird like German things where they have words and then they get like word smashed. That's what's going to happen here. And the result is, I want to say it's like balanced in its imbalance. It's like a galaxy swirling because nothing's settled yet. So there's something that's currently recombining here. Right, you know how the yo-yo, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. That's kind of like what's happening, and you end up with this sort of spiral here, like at the inside. It's the energy is coiling like a spring. It's the two strands of energy are wrapping together. Okay, so I see. Okay, so this is another kind of triptych situation with these other 3 cards here. So we have the Page of Pentacles. His energy. Page of Pentacles. Spring with Earth and Earth, right? So I see Earth here, right? Hierophant, Taurus, and then Venus, why can't I fucking talk? the Empress. And then the Page of Pentacles is representing Earth, and then that like spring forward. Now look at this card here, right? We have the Page here. He's standing here, and there's a golden disc. On the Sun card, there's a figure standing here, and then a golden disc. So these cards are directly related. I'm like carrying the sun, like carrying the torch, the Olympic torch. Oh, my insides. Okay. Today was that? I think I flipped this upside down, and it's not supposed to be. So it's something that's being considered. Six of Swords, right over a card that's like the Sword Empire. All right, so I see a 7 here, I see 6 here, and it's like this is being kicked around, right? Because they have that spiraling. So you're perceiving something in a way that you didn't before. Things that, I say this fairly often, things that you used to find important or interesting may no longer have value. Now I see this is 21 breaking down to a 3, and then we have a 6 here, so we have a redoubling. It's like your perception is expanding so fast that you have to like run away from the epicenter. I spit on the screen back here, and I think it dried on already. Now 3 and 6, that's 9, so it's like going back into the darkness to check something else out. But also, if this is that 5 that I noticed, then we have an 11, which is that timing, and would bring it up to a Page of Swords over here to bring that same level of energy. And now 5, 3, and 1, that's a 9 over here, right? 9 in the Pentacles. So it's like it levels up to this moon energy, which brings it back down into here, where that dark dive is going. So let's see what's the center card here. It's the Chariot, of course. It's the 7 inverted. Now, what did I say? I said Chariot, and the Chariot here. So, what we have here is, some people aren't going to like this. What does the yo-yo do? It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, and your movements get smoother and more coordinated as you go in. So what's happening is that you're growing your light. You go back down into the darkness to see what you missed the first time. And what happens when you do, when the Sage is like gathering wisdom, right? And the Chariot, Cancer, water. So it's like you're growing your understanding of the material world, you're expanding your perception, and in that way your emotional content is changed. So now you have to swing back down again. Whoop. It doesn't work when I'm not going to throw it in front of the camera, but it comes down, right, and then it goes back up like a bouncing down into the depths to see what's been hiding in the emotional content in order to balance it back out. Because I see 7 and 7, that would be 14. That's temperance, that's the balance. So you're balancing the fire and the water. Your gut instincts, the core of who you are, the light within, your higher self is coming back out and giving you this emotional healing after you go back in, you know. So it's like weaving like on a maypole. Chariots of fire. Okay, so if you're experiencing some emotional ups and downs right now, if you're in the yo-yo energy, and then we say Imperial, right, the Empress, and the idea of an emperor in there somewhere. The emotional fluctuations that you're feeling is actually your higher self and your physical self starting to interact on a level where you get emotional clearing and then you get more spiritual information. And it's going to happen in a series of successive waves. And again, it's like an expansion and then a coiling of energy, and then an expansion and then a coiling of energy. And every time you do that, it sends out the pattern in a different way of the spiral, and it, in this rotation of like beauty and interest and excellence and blah blah blah. So we're gonna do the teacup next here. The dragon teacup. This is a very watery essence, but I see the green here, so we also have this potentiality of green in cups as being the heart chakra, but also of some earth. And then because there's a dragon on here, we have fire as well. So there may not be a lot of air energy going on in this pile, but we'll see what's happening underneath. I don't know why I'm feeling Scorpio energy, but we'll see. Okay. Tea time, y'all. King of Swords inverted, so that's why there's no air energy, because he's off balance. He's the sword in the stone there. King of Swords. Capricorn and Aquarius, air and air. So yeah, the sword in the stone. Lightning, 30. Oh, sort of like lightning crashes. It's like Lou Christie. And there's also the band Live. They have a song called Lightning Crashes. So we have lightning inverted, so we're not getting that spark of inspiration here. We have a 3. That's the Empress, possibly. Or the 3 of Swords is that heartbreak, emotional disturbance clouding the clarity of the mind, right? So we're not getting clarity because the lightning is just like a static that's not amounting to anything. 0 would be the Fool energy, but there's nothing starting over. We also see like it's like 3 wheels. Your chariot is off balance because it's missing a wheel, or that like 3rd wheel energy. I just heard blinded by the light, but it's like distracted by flashy things, perhaps. 3 tens of swords. You got 30 candles stuck in your bag. All right. What else we got? Yeah. 5 of crystals. So there's some more of that earth energy. 5 of crystals. Mercury in Taurus. Alright. You know, I know that Aquarius is Uranus, but I tend to associate it with Mercury, which is weird, but Mercury is Libra and also Venus. So there's, again, that nod to the Empress. And then Earth energy in Taurus. But this is... Now, this is a very swords-looking crystal card, right? Oh, they're all going the wrong way. Your shit's all broken. Swords in the stone. And these are literally swords made of stone. And there's a song, I think it's ELO. I think it's ELO. It's like made of stone. Electric Light Orchestra. Electric light. So we're completely blinded by something that's making us sad. We feel shut out, put out, Fucking rar. Disappointed. 4 of Pentacles to go with the 5. And this is like, I'm definitely getting that sense, like with my music deck, the world is not enough. Like whatever you're dealing with isn't enough. It's like I need more, but it's in a like a hoarding sense of trying to cover up this deep hole that's happening with these I never remember if it's the stalactites or the stalagmites that are the hangy down ones. But all these friggin' rock secretions stabbing you in the back 30 times over, creating a huge hole right in your heart space from the back. Like digging, scooping it out like a cantaloupe, like a honeydew melon. And this king, out of balance, which is a 5 as well, right? 1 in 14, 1 in 4 is 5, so that's a 5 here as well. So we have that 10 of swords. And he's like, I need something to fill this hole, but I'm depressed. And now he's like not even a page, he's just like a farm boy over here, like as you wish, except he's not getting anything that he wants. 10, 10, 4, but it's all out of balance. 3, 5 is 8. Lack of strength. Well, sometimes the 8 is justice, so I do see an injustice concept. There's nothing moving. It's like a trying to get away with physical satisfaction to cover up the emotional hole. Okay, first. The Emperor. So this is like off in the distance. This is who he wants to be, but this is where he is. My battery's gonna die pretty soon. So I do see these 4s flipping back and forth, right? 10 and 4. 4, 4. And then, like, if this was a 1, it'd be 5 minus 1 is 4. So there's something going on with the foundation. The Emperor is Aries energy. And if it was a proper page of Pentacles, it would be spring energy, which would also be Aries. So this king wants to be here, but he's only here. And then we have Temperance 14 trying to heal this disparity here. I'm actually going to go, hopefully the battery will last long enough for me. I'm going to dig out the book because I want to read the lightning card inverted because it's a medicine and I want to see what it says. Which means I have to move my Durge out of the way because using the box I have the book in as a ledge. Alright, let me get in here. Oh. 30. Lightning. Because I think that's going to explain what's happening in this temperance wall here. The formidable electrical discharge of a lightning bolt brightens the sky and strikes the earth, accompanied by the mighty sound of thunder. This phenomenon has a positive aspect. The light illuminates the earth and the psyche, but there's a destructive side as well. The bolt can burn and even kill if it's too strong. Okay, so with it inverted, the medicine. Life has gifted you with a destiny that is in alignment with your passion and in harmony with all existence on earth. Now lightning has come to jolt you into accepting your destiny. Let this initiation release what is in the way of you fulfilling your life purpose. So this is, you got to release the stuff that's in the way. Otherwise, you'll be bound to your karmic fate. This is a time to be courageous and daring. All right. I'll just start Lego my ego. So, whatever is keeping this masculine off balance, he needs to open up that Three of Swords energy and let go of it so that he can move forward in a grounded way. You don't need to hold on to all this unhappiness and covering up your emotional hole with material things, with distractions and, you know, TV and, you know, EDM concerts and stuff like that. It's just flashy, distracting energy so that you don't have to think about those 3 swords that, or the 30 swords that you need to pull out of your back. So this is this big bleedy gaping hole here, and he's being called to come in as a neophyte and just let go. And then the Temperance Angel will come in and say, I got you, home slice. And that's 14, that's 5, that's a pivot. And then that pivot leads to the Emperor energy. And again, we have Aries energy, so that's that new, but he's gained this wisdom and understanding and rising from his own ashes. This king when he's this way. Yeah, it's wisdom and it's maturity, emotional maturity. All right, so that is the T. So we have emotional maturity leading towards fire with the Emperor. Oh, that was great. I gotta change the battery. Of course, now that I turn the camera on and there's a large vehicle going by making noise. Or 2. I guarantee you they were going down the hill faster than 30 miles an hour. And there goes some asshole whipping up the hill. Okay. So now we're doing this beautiful pink shell here. So perhaps emotional content. Say spine, so we might have some swords energy going on here. And I also have the idea of putting it to your ear, so I'm hearing listen. Listen to the motion of the ocean. I just heard hear me out. Meow. Hear me out. It kind of looks like, it kind of is also similarly shaped to the ear canal. If you know what I'm talking about. The drum and the anvil. Okay, so we're smelting and working on something. So I definitely hear like a listen, like a listening, a tuning in, clairaudient, perhaps music, and like whale song kind of thing. If I was using the can't say words or remember what I'm talking about. The wild unknown animal spirits, if I was using those today, I would expect the whale card to pop up for this, but let's see what we've got here. I don't want to do that one first. Okay. Alright, this is more cards in this pile. So we have Justice, 11. Libra energy. So there's some of that spike air, swordy kind of energy. Inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. It's also interesting because when I felt drawn to stick these on certain piles, this one came out on the pile that has 2 of these Work Your Light Oracle cards. Very matchy-matchy. Mushy mushy. Hola. Hola chiquita. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? I feel like these came out together last time. So High Priestess is 2, which I also see as related to 11. So it's kind of like tuning into the portal of your heart, and the way that you're being called to lead is as some kind of harbinger of justice. You're being called to hear your calling and to enact some sort of balance in the world. Not like vigilante justice. We're not like Catwoman or Batman out here. No, incidentally, the High Priestess, I feel like that's slightly... Okay, I guess that's about as good as it's gonna get. The High Priestess is water energy, and the moon, right, which is ruled by Cancer, which is another kind of that situation. So, oh my god. Earth, 17. So that would be the star, or Aquarius, or air energy here. I also see 1, the Magician, and 7, the Chariot. I also see 8, which would be strength. Or the 8 of Cups, walking away for doesn't serve you. Or the 8 of Swords, which is I want to break free. Releasing, noticing that you're trapped within your own mental prison and getting out of it. So instead of being trapped in your own self, tune into the portal of your heart, or the inner temple, and then you'll realize that you weren't trapped at all, that you're in a grand hallway, a grand nave. It was like a church. So the Earth card is about like co-creation and being in tune with the Earth and listening to the Earth. Let me just skim this real quick while I've got it. Yeah, stewards of the planet. It also has to do with nurturing, with health and security, grounding. So a need to focus on reverence and appreciation for the natural gifts that are coming to you. So it's about becoming one with your own nature and that grounding. So it's how are you being called to step up and lead? And here is it saying, in order to be in tune with the Earth, you need to be in tune with yourself in the spiritual way and within your own body. The cells of your body know what you're supposed to be doing. And then we see 8, and the 2 energy here is the 10 of Pentacles, which would bring in that abundance. Is there anything else? 2, 3, 13. That's transformation and rebuild and creating a new foundation for yourself, for the temple to sit on. Queen of Swords. All right. This is like a slightly lower vibration of the High Priestess. And look how emotionally abundant she is with all these flowers here. She's learning, she's listening, and she's also working her way into learn. Oh, I'm going to put it over here on the sword side. 13 again, like, right? I see 2 here, 11 here. That's 13. That's the Queen of Swords energy. So it's a transformation. It's not a death in that way. It's ascension. By being true with yourself, you're achieving this greater ability to perceive and to have clarity over your thoughts and what you want to do. Oh, I'm not sure how, I think this was sideways. So the challenge here actually is the High Priestess. It doesn't matter whether it's upside down or not. It's still coming out. It's like saying, okay, you've come this far. Now the next step is actually the High Priestess. You're following this progression, and this is where you're going. The High Priestess. Now, incidentally, the Queen of Swords. Water of air, but it's Virgo and Libra. So we have this grounded perception with emotional background. Okay. The Aquarian card next. Two of Pentacles. Now this is like saying, we have a Joanne moment here with this pink hat, which matches all this other pink stuff, right? So we're thinking like our thoughts are clouded by emotions, and we're trying to figure out what we're doing, but the earth energy is coming in and saying, hey, you need to get grounded, and this priestess energy is saying, hey, listen, remember what you're supposed to do? And then this inner temple thing is saying, stop messing around with this crap in front of you and go within, stop looking outwards. All right, so we have the Two of Pentacles, so that's Jupiter and Capricorn, which I knew, but it's like things in your life aren't really going your way. You struggle when you try to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, like in reality with your life. But if you go into your insides and really listen to how you're supposed to be leading in a spiritual way with this Justice and the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess and this other priestess, it's saying, when you switch your focus from why am I having such bad luck, and to this idea that the Saturn overlord of the Capricorn sign is trying to get you to do this inner work. And again, we have 2 and 11 is that 13. It's that death cycle. This like, we're not doing this anymore. And then the Queen at 13 and 2 is the Devil, which is Saturnian Capricornian energy, which is saying you're being put to task to really ground and to go into your dark side and pull up whatever is holding you back. Because you need the dark. You need that death cycle, that underground phase to come back out and understand both halves of yourself. That's why the High Priestess has a dark pillar and a light pillar. This is that death, and here's the rebirth, right? She's in the moon energy with going in and understanding the duality of nature. And look at all this earthy growth behind her. And finally we have the Five of Cups. So this is the pivot. This is the emotional pivot, right? Here's 2 cups saying 1, 2, that High Priestess number. And this is all this, I don't know what I'm doing, right? But instead of juggling one or the other, we have 3 things here which are spilling, which is this can be a 1 or a 13, right? So we have 1 and 2, that's 3, that's sort of Empress energy. So it's like, I'm not the Empress, I'm sad, but you could be the High Priestess if you just turned around. So it's just this emotional shift, this emotional pivot that needs to happen. And then what do we have but 2 and 5 here? That's the Chariot, which is coming up in this 7 energy here. So it's like you have to let go emotionally of wondering why things aren't working out for you in reality, when the reality of it is that in order to ground yourself and anchor yourself more to the world in the material, you have to anchor yourself into your own spirituality and realize that as a being, you have a spiritual quest, which is to lead in some way, and like first by bringing justice to yourself, and then by reporting it, what it is, to other people. Okay, so this is the shell. And what's interesting too is that this idea of listen, but for somebody to hear what the message is, you have to first put the shell to your ear. So it's like when you speak to people, only those that are willing to hear are going to be able to hear it. But likewise, in order for you to level up, you have to be willing to listen to what your inner inside self tells you. Okay, so this is the shell, the pointy shell. I'm going to do the Hatchling Dragon next. Let me give it a good spin here. I don't know where this is from. I think my brother gave it to me for birthday miss one year. Green folded wings, it's so cute. Is there a mark on there? No, it's not. It's like resin. I just hit the camera. My bad. What's weird is that it, because of the texture, it feels like a real egg. It's just like super heavy. Like a paperweight. It's got some attitude on it, guy. So we're probably going to be in some Wands energy here, and also in that like Aries newborn kind of energy. And I wouldn't be fully surprised. I want to see if this is still focused because I smacked the camera. That looks pretty good. Okay. I really need some water. Hang on. Now. Like clumsy getting up and down from my chair because my legs are very sore from trying to stretch out the painful and tight ligaments. Okay. Trinity, the 3 of Crystals inverted. I haven't seen this card in a while. I like this one is it's got the little thing here that's on the back. Triskelion. So we have 3 of Crystals. So we have this like building of the edifice and the crystal spires here. 3 of Pentacles. Mars and Capricorn. So right away, Mars is ruling Aries, also called Aries without A-R-E-S in the Greek mythology. So very masculine there as well with the pointiness. But it's like buried underground. Like earthquake. Come here. Hey, body. Paperweight, okay. Okay, this has very few cards in this pile. Alright, so what do I want? Yeah, okay, I want this one next. Also in reverse. So this is like a pause on the pause, right? No. Wait, postpone, pause, or say no. Is that? I want to see if I could darken it a little bit. I guess that's as good as it's going to get. Make sure that's still in focus. Yeah. Just because the writing is small. So this is usually like hold up. hold on a minute, like hangman-ish kind of energy. It's like, but here it's, I can't help but notice it says on. Like, oh, it's on now, bitch. And also we have another building that's inverted, and instead of this stairs looking like a train track, now it looks like one of those like things like the robots move on that's hanging overhead, like a little like chain thing, or like one of those things that you slide on with the handles, grappling hooks. So that's interesting. I also feel like this is like, this gives me an energy of 2, and I see a 5 here, which is like some kind of a shift. It's like the roof is on fire. It's weird. Okay. Starseed inverted. So I expected to see the Fool, and now we have it. And this is air and Uranus energy. So we do have this potential Aquarian sense. But notice with this inverted, this crystal lotus also looks similar to these spires inverted. And I have a 0 and a no. So it's like O and then N. Own. You gotta own something. This is like, I don't want to have to start over because my building fell down. Why are these all inverted? It's like Dragon wants to go back in the egg. He's like, nope. The 8 of... Oh, 8 of Cups. Okay. So this is usually the walking away from what doesn't serve you, that guy walking along the sand. Now here we have this sort of chakra alignment happening, and this guy is supposed to be smiling, but he looks a little bit sinister to me. He looks kind of underhanded here. Like, I really honestly think the person that drew this thought he was looking friendly, but he does not. He looks like a sleazeball, in my opinion. So inverted, it's like turning it into Wands energy. It's like dried out. And I can't help but notice that this sacral chakra is really sticking out here. It's, yeah, it's like he wants to go back into the womb. Like, redo, restart. But here it's like, I'm not going to let go of what's... I don't want to let go of the things that are upsetting me in some way. Like, I don't want to let go of the thing that I had built up already. And then I see 8 and 3 there. That's 11. It's like, it should be time, but it's saying it's not time, but it's also, it's like, no, it's on. Like, you need to... something. Okay. So finally something upright. The 8 of Air. 8 of Swords. This is trapped by your own mental state. Tune in, turn on, drop out. So this is what you don't want to have to rebuild anything. You don't want to have to start from scratch. You don't want to have to change your plans. You don't want to give up the emotional baggage that you're holding on to. You're saying, nope, nope. You good, I'm going home. 8 of Swords, trapped in your own little mental prison. Right, so we have 5 swords. That's mindfuck, mind games, messing with your head. You've got to be like the last person standing. You have to have the last word. You can't be wrong. you're sure of whatever it is that you think of, even if you haven't considered any other perspective. And then the Three of Swords is heartbreak. So with that, you know, intentionally single-sided view of the world combined with emotional anguish, you're stuck in a loop here where you keep kind of stabbing yourself in your hand that feeds yourself, to the point where you're just, you know, going around in circles like a chasing your own tail, and you just want to go back and get the hell out of there. But this issue here with the no card being in reverse is like a dictate that's saying you can't keep running off and hiding and taking a break and stopping. You have to have some kind of a shift. Now that these 8s here, it's like telling you, I mean, it's like telling you to nut up. It's trying to bring in strength, and in some decks also justice. It's like your weakness and what's causing your cathedral to collapse is that your foundation is built on sand. And in order to really have that new beginning, you have to release what doesn't serve you and get another perspective that you can see from the other point of view, and then be able to release yourself from this constant cycle of, you know, oh, everyone's out to get me, or my stuff keeps failing, like, what the hell, I'm not going to put myself out there again, either like entrepreneurially or emotionally or whatever it is. It's like, nope, bye. So this, I mean, really, essentially, this is all kind of effed up, except that this card is saying, is like telling you to move. It's like, if you're not going to, you know, put gas in your car to go and give yourself enough, like, reflective time, then we're going to send you down the zip line and get you right in the cranium. So I think the universe is doing its best to get the hatchling dragon here to come out of its shell all the way and really experience life from somewhere outside of its little tight, cramped up hidey hole space. Okay. So we'll get the kitty. This party animal here. This little... Can you hear that? Little pellets or something in there. Like a rocket. Like a rocket. Look at the tail. Okay, enough of that. Trying to... Little pep rally kitty there. Okay. Boop. Alright, what do we got? I can't see from here. Emotions. Emotions in motion. 19. So the Dreams of Gaia Tarot is a little bit different, but this is where the sun would normally be, but we have emotions here. So we have, well, I mean, it's kind of like the sun, especially the sun card that came out in the yo-yo pile here with the sky here. The balancing of the light and the dark aspects, the duality. So I do see that here with this emotions, right? We have the light, we have the dark, we have the different elements kind of represented here. But we're inverted. So we have 19, which would reduce to a 10. So we do have this and I'm going to call it as 10 of Wands, because the tiger is like a lion, which is the sun energy Leo. So it's darkness, it's like overwhelmed with emotional content in a way that like burns. Play. So we have a delay or confusion here. The sunshine. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious, right? So this is like, I am emotionally compromised. And it's like, why so serious? You're to lighten up, Francis. So here's the 10 of Wands. Outright. Now here we see the chakra lit up here. And here in this system, in the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, I feel like it's a little bit different. It's like opening up the pipeline all the way to the top. And like realizing yourself as a light being with a lot of strength on your way to the magician. But it's like there's some root issue here that's like compressing your energy. And it's like if you play, you can release it, but you're feeling kind of sour right now. Just hence the pep rally, I guess. Oh. All right, so this came out sideways when I was shuffling them out, and I left it sideways because it's in the challenge position. 8 of Chalices, which was relevant in the shell reading. So this emotional distress here, we have the Strength card, Leo energy again, is to walk away from this emotional stuff. Now notice that this play card has this feminine energy sitting in a glass here, and I don't see a tail on her. I think it's just her legs, but she's essentially a mermaid, and we have this ocean here. So it's like if you are in this, like, overwhelmed by your emotions, you do at some point, you will be challenged to you know, stop drinking that poison over and over again. It's, you know, you don't have to be drowned by these emotions every time. You don't have to drink that rat poison, but what you want to do is look at the feeling, experience it, and really just sit in it and feel it and say, like, okay, I have tasted this feeling, I've breathed in the aroma, I've gotten the nose of it, and I swish it around in my mouth and I spit it out. So it's like a wine tasting. It's not like you have to choke all these down and until you're passed out under the bar table. That's the difference. It's like a wine tasting. It's like, oh, okay, I see what this flavor is. That's not for me. I'm going to go over here. And that's when you realize that you don't have to choke on those, that you can get some of that relief, that play. I'm like, oh, those were interesting. And now I'm going to go do something else. And that's when this alignment comes in, and this root problem of holding on to all these emotions and just chugging them over and over again will go away. And then we have the moon. So 18 breaking down to a 9, which would be kind of hermit energy, or 9 of cups, emotional contentment, 9 of fire, the hanging around, waiting. So in order to get the emotional contentment, instead of waiting forever for anything to improve, you actually do have to get in here and do this. So we have a 10, right? That burden, and then 8, the 8 here with the strength to move on, and then we have Pisces here with that intuition, that duality of understanding the light and the dark, and saying, oh, this flavor is dark, this flavor is light, now I get it. And then we have also Moon ruled by Cancer, which is emotions as well. And then after the moon, the night, this here, then we do have this daylight shining and this completion here. Now again, this card is often considered negative, but I see it this way, and I think it came out upside down. So if there's any negativity, then it's transmuted, and the way that the energy is flowing, it's like the Kundalini opens up when you realize that you can just play and engage in like a freedom of, you know, this is like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And this is, you know, again, that like opening up, like la 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 la. So that's the essence. It's like I don't know if anybody's especially if a masculine, but if you've had really long hair and you cut a lot of it off, your head feels several pounds lighter. And that's this here. If you spit out these glasses instead of swallowing them, you will feel a lot less drunk, and you can play without hurting yourself. And that's when that Kundalini energy really starts to circle again. It's like, right, the Kundalini, the snake going up, the snake going down. And that will help the energy flow. So it's realizing that you don't have to keep drinking out of the same emotional garbage, right? You can go get, you know, you don't have to keep drinking something that's nasty. You don't have to keep drinking all this eggnog, right? It tastes like mucus. It's gross. It makes you gag. It's like, ugh. You can come over here and have some nice, refreshing, like a Perrier or something. All right. So those were the weekend pick-up piles, and I hope those were useful and helpful. I see a lot of similar themes, maybe from different elemental perspectives, some of them slightly more masculine, like this one, slightly more feminine like this one, and some of them not as specific. So I hope that was, again, useful information for people. And if you want to hear something similar from multiple aspects, then just go back and watch all of them if you haven't already. I hope you... what else am I going to say? I guess I was done. Let me... Oh, actually pretty good right there. If you want to get a reading, the complete list of readings and how much they cost is in the description box of my infomercial video, which is linked below this one. But I will also give you that information if you email me, thecatcameback@camp@gmail.com. I know it's all in all caps here, but it's all lowercase when you type it in. The oh, okay, yeah. If you want to get actual art items, I have some drawings in my catalog. I haven't updated it since January because I haven't needed to. I know there's a couple of typos, but I'll fix them eventually. So I do have some items here. When they sell, I'll be adding more because I have like hundreds of drawings that I need to move out into some energy where other people resonate with them instead of just having them in a box here. So there's some drawings listed in here. I have made to order items listed in here. You can see there's a stuffed pony here and a stuffed Archaeopteryx here. Those are items that would be made to order. I have coloring books. You can see a little tiny. There's one there and one there. I'm currently giving away a free image from each of them, so that's 2 free JPEGs if you email me. Again, that's thecatcameback@camp@gmail.com. I will give you those 2 images. You can either print them out or color them on your device to help with quarantine, stress, and boredom. And again, of the chapbook packs here, there are like various kinds of envelopes of small drawings, little art cards, you know, just kind of weird little random things. Let's see if I have anything super exciting looking over here. Probably not. There's that one. There's this one. There's some that are like full on like intense drawings that I don't know. They're in there somewhere. They're all different. Some of them are, you know, more like this or there's you know, so there's envelopes, there's little, do I have any? Yes, I do. Is there only one? Of course there's only one. So I have little chapbooks in there. This is the first one. There's other ones that have fancier designs, but you see there's little poems in here. So the writing varies. There's 9 of these. There's different little printed art cards that have some of the fancier looking stuff on it, you know, like that. And then there's usually another small drawing just kind of stuffed in there. Good looking one, you know, something like that, or that. So all of them are different. It'll be kind of like, here's another one. They'll all be different, and the different images and words and numbers might have meaning to you. It'd be kind of like a little mini tarot reading, and you can just sit with it and see how the items in the chapbook pack resonate with you. And again, I mean, some of them are, you know, like rainbow envelopes, like. So that just that's just kind of an overview again of those chapbook packs. So they're in the catalog, and there's some other stuff in the catalog. So the PDF link to this, and the list of tarot readings that I have and their prices are all again in the description box of that oh my god, I can't talk. Infomercial video, the description box of that linked below this one, or just email me thecatcameback@camp@gmail.com and I'll get you that link. So I have merch. This is enlarged to show texture. I have prints, and not just that, I have other prints too. So do check out deviantart.com/cattheminion/gallery if you want to see some of that. Check out my playlists, because I've got my Adventures with Plastic Crack. I've got these pick-a piles. I've got some channelings. I've got the astrological age readings, the bi-weekly astrology check-ins, card of the day, a couple other things. So that's the playlist. If you want to donate, you can hit the tip jar, paypal.me/cattheminion, or hit me up at Venmo or Cash App. Is that it? I think that's it. So, we will see you later. Let me just do a quick run through. I'm going to do a little bonus check-in. The bottom of the deck. Let's see what we got here. 5 of Cups. Mars in Scorpio. Seeker of Orbs inverted. So that is the Page of Swords. That's sort of winter energy with earth and air. King of Cups. Put the king over here with the 5. So we have a 1 and 4 is 5, and then 5. So we have a shift. 9 of Cups. Jupiter and Pisces, and that 5. Yep, okay. So King of Cups. Air and water with Libra and Scorpio. So we do have scorpionic energy here. We have the 8 of Pentacles inverted. The Sun in Virgo. Pillar of Light upside down, so that's a delay or some confusion. Your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. And the Mystical Shaman, 38. So we have a timing thing. So let's read that real quick. 38. This is the symbol of the myth maker and storyteller who is neither made nor defined by the story. Instead, he observes it, evolves through it, and perceives all aspects of it. In doing so, the mystical shaman represents the ability to dream a new story, a new myth into being. He dances between worlds wearing the cloak of the world loosely around his shoulders and sings the world into being. He reminds us to be in the world and travel through it, but is not to be defined by it or to become too attached to the experience. This is the symbol of true alchemy, for all elements of life have a spiritual aspect and a material one. When we remember this, all manner of miracles and manifestations are possible. So live without attachment, create and dream, act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement. Impartially observe the stories you tell yourself and others. What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you become if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there were no need to explain you to anyone, not even to yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up as it will. This is a sign of manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. Okay, that was several mouthfuls. So we have this card here, this timing, this Empress and Strength energy to become whatever you want, to raise your vibration, to just, like it says, sing the world into being, right? It's like the oracle is someone who describes an idea of like a higher world, and in that way it's like speaking yourself into creation. We have this idea of, oops, the rubber band came off of that, all right? Getting out of this past emotional attachment to like, oh, this is how I am, and saying, nope, I'm shifting now. I'm changing my tune. I'm going to claim that I have this happiness because I move in balance and I have my intuitive, creative side with me, right? I don't need to look for myself. I can declare who I am, and I don't have to struggle to overcome this energy here, right? 5 and 8, that's 13. That's transition into this new energy of I say who I am. Nobody tells me. All right, so that's a little bonus kick in the pants there, and we'll see you later. Bye.